that's technically a no rep and you'll have to do that one over again. So make sure, baby G's trying to get in here. Hey y'all, it's Katie and welcome back to our series on Deka team strategy and transitions. If you missed episode 1 and 2 in the series, go back and watch those. They are really, really great. Episode 1 is all about the overview of the race and certain considerations you need to take for specific types of athletes. And then number 2 is going to be those transitions between zone 1, the lunges, and zone 5, the ski. So today we're picking up with that transition between zone 5 and 6, where we're starting the farmer carry. So without further ado, let's jump into the walkthrough. So like I teased at the end of the last video, if you're trying to be more competitive with the farmer, and if the course layout allows for it, have the last runner or the resting teammate from the ski, if it's the strong, start the farmer. So from the ski or from that last run, they can run straight into the farmer station, grab those dumbbells, and do the first 10, 20 meters without too much extra stopping or resting. So if they're able to do that, at least that's going to help you carry that momentum through into the farmer carry and help you shave off just a few seconds from having to stop, tag, or from a dead stop, pick up the dumbbells and go. The exception with that would be like the Deka fit, where the dumbbells are in a specific corral. You have to stop, grab your dumbbells, turn around, and get started. There's no time advantage with that one. So you just do what you do. Speaking of the fit, if you are on a same-sex female or male team, feel free to follow that partner through the course and swap off the dumbbell as needed. If you're in a co-ed team, I would say it is most efficient to have one person do the farmer carry because there's no swapping weights unless the lower weighted athlete is able to carry those heavier weights. So that's the only disadvantage with a co-ed team going into the farmer carry. Just make sure that one partner can do the entire 100 meters confidently. But as far as standard, strong, mile, or same-sex teams in the fit, here's some ideas. With the co-ed, you can already be crouched down, hands on the weights, ready to go, so that when your partner steps both feet across the line, you can just go immediately right into the next lap. But the emphasis there is on both feet crossing the line before you start working. If your partner's feet are not past the line and you start your lap, that's technically a no rep and you'll have to do that one over again. So make sure, baby G's trying to get in here. So make sure both feet are across the line before you go. For male and female teams here, it's just being about very quick and very speedy on this transition. So obviously you're going to be using the same set of dumbbells. So for that working teammate, typically I recommend both feet cross the line, you drop the dumbbells and keep your momentum going forward so you can run out of the way. That resting teammate is going to be standing right by the sides. They can step in and immediately pick up the dumbbells and go right after that working teammate clears the dumbbells. So that one should be a very fast transition. If your teammate's not like wandering around or grabbing a drink of water or something, it should be pretty fast regardless of how competitive you are. And from here, there's lots of options too. That farmer finisher can then go run, tag the runner, or tag the bike starter. I do recommend here that the farmer finisher, if it's in the strong, does not start the bike, because it's really nice, especially if you have a stronger athlete on the bike who's gonna rep out a bunch of calories at first. It's very nice if that athlete gets a chance to get their heart rate down and rest a little bit before they have to hit the bike. So that other teammate taking the last couple farmer carries is really, really nice, so that that second teammate can rest and prep for the bike. And plus they can already go in there and get their seat height adjusted and ready so that they're ready to hit hard. I'm already ahead of myself though. We're coming to zone 7, the bike. So like I said, the bike starter can already be in position. You got that seat height adjusted, forward and back, up and down. They can already be seated on the bike. The only thing they can't do is hit the start button or actually start pedaling yet. So once that teammate comes in, they get the tag, then they can start going. And like I mentioned for the strong, it applies for the mile and fit too. If you are the run finisher for the mile or fit, you should not also start the bike, okay? Run finishers, tag the bike starter. They don't want to have to do that last lap and then come on the bike, right? Give that bike starter a rest first. Okay, I'm going to emphasize this bike transition a lot here because there is one massively bad thing you can do in a transition with the bike. Here, we don't want to quickly decelerate the wheel and push backwards to then accelerate ourselves off the bike, okay? That's a really, really bad thing to do for the mechanics of these bikes. That quick deceleration tends to break the chains and the fan blades, so make sure you don't do that because that wears and tears on the system over time, and it's really, really awful. That's how our gym has broken several bikes because we have several athletes that do that, and it's not good, so don't do that. The best form of transition for the bike is to prop your feet on the front spokes. Spokes, I don't really know what they're actually called. Tell me what they are in the comments if you know. I don't know. Anyway, the two little bars coming out of the wheel itself. Pop your feet on the bar and use that to help you get off the bike instead of backpedaling against the pedals really fast. And just make sure you communicate with your teammate and tell them if you're getting off on the left or the right and which side they should be coming in on. And at this point in the race, the bike finisher will probably be pretty tired, especially if they took majority or all of the air bike. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be pretty taxing. So whoever did not finish the bike is gonna start the next run or go on to the dead ball. And speaking of zone 8, the dead ball, this one is very simple to transition as well, because simply after you do the last toss over the shoulder, then you're just gonna step out and let the other teammate come in. If it's same sex or if it's a co-ed team, easy. The other person just gets prepped on their ball. Once they hear it hit the ground, they start going with their next rep. Super, super smooth, super, super simple. The exception here is that dead ball yoke over or wall over, where they have to throw it over the wall. The transition here comes after you step out of the yoke and cross the midline. So that's when the other teammate can then step in, pick up the ball and keep going. So just make sure you remember that little detail, step out and cross the midline. It's like an L shape, okay? So L out, then the other teammate can go. And at this point in the mile or the fit, either the dead ball finisher can run or then tag the next runner, totally up to you. In the strong, I recommend that the tank starter hangs out with the dead ball person, so then they can run to the tank and use that running momentum to start their first push into the tank. Because you know me and I'm all about the momentum and shaving off little tiny seconds. Speaking of the tank, we're on to zone 9. So first, on the first push, you will probably not have the handles in your hand. They're probably gonna be in the bucket of the torque or on the plates of the Z-Bex, right? They're gonna be in front of you. So finish that first push, then reach down, grab the handles. From that point on, those handles do not leave your hands, okay? Or your teammates' hands. That is one of the biggest details that newbies miss and that more experienced Deka people use to shave off tons of time from their races, okay? Every time you have to set the handles down for pushing and then pick them back up for pulling, that's going to add on 2, 3, 4 seconds every single 10-meter transition. It's a lot and it adds up over time. So obviously here, communication is very important. So making sure as you're pulling back, you're communicating with your teammate, hey, I'm gonna bail this way, you come in from this direction. You know, whatever that is for you guys, whichever direction you decide on is fine, just make sure you both are aware. And there's 2 different ways you can pass the handles. First off, you pass them from hand to hand, which works, it's a good way. I prefer the second method. You can also pass it by placing the handles on the tank bars, so then your other teammate has a predictable location where the handles are going to be every time, so that way all they have to do is grab the tank to start pushing and the handles are already in their hands. Very simple, and I really prefer this method. So make sure you practice this with a teammate a few times before you actually hit the race, because this specific technique is a little bit finicky, especially if you drop the handles or loop it around the tank upright or something like that. It can be a little bit finicky, so make sure you're practicing it, that you know how to place them there, get out of the way fast so your teammate can take the handles. But just remember, keep those handles in your hands or on your wrists somewhere where you can easily grab them so you're not having to pick them up from the bucket every time. Also, for the mile and the fit, I would recommend that the stronger runner finishes the tank, because on this last run, both of you are running again. So because this is the very last run, run number 1 and run number 10, both teammates run. So after the tank, both of you are gonna have to go again. So if the stronger runner finishes the tank, then both of y'all will be a little bit more equally fatigued and ready to go. So that y'all are gonna enter the burpee with about the same energy. But for the strong, I recommend that the burpee starter stays over near the tank so that when that person finishes the last tank, they can tag, they can rest their tired legs. They don't have to run over to the burpee and tag the person. They can just rest right after that last rep. The burpee starter is fresh. He or she can run over and start their burpees right away. Which means we are on to our last station, zone 10, the ram burpee. First off, for co-ed, the first teammate is going to finish their last rep, and after they get full extension at the top, they're just gonna bring that back to their chest, step off, and then the other teammate can step on, already holding their ram, and then drop it straight to the floor and start their next rep. Very, very simple, because the completion of the rep is the full extension at the top. As long as they get that full extension, bring the ram back down, step off, they're good to go. They've completed that rep. The other teammate can start their next rep going straight down into the floor. So very, very simple transition, and that second teammate can already have that ram in their hands, ready to go. For the female and male teams here, it's pretty similar. So on that last rep, you'll take the ram to full extension, set the ram on the floor and get out of the way. The other teammate is going to dive onto the mat, straight into their push-up, and then finish off the reps. So very, very simple transitions, just slightly different in how you'd handle it between a co-ed or a female or male team. Just minutia, okay? Small details. But that's why you're here, right? You like the small details if you're watching this video. And then of course, after that last rep in the strong and mile, you set the ram on the floor, you are done. In the fit, you both run across the finish line and then you're done. So I want to know how these go for you. Let me know in the comments how these tips have impacted your racing and how they helped you with your teams, improve your times and stuff. Because I know for my athletes at my gym and for my own racing, these have really, really helped, especially taking us to world champs and things like that, and getting us some pretty good times. So let me know what you think. Comment it down below. Let me know what your best and favorite transitions are. Let me know if I missed one. If there's a good transition you know about that I didn't list, go ahead and drop that in the comments too, because I am curious. Oh yeah, and a huge thank you to my B-roll team. My husband Matt and my friends Ashlyn and Ryan came in to help us with the B-roll with all the different team transitions. So that was super fun to film. And thank you guys for guest starring on my YouTube channel. But that's all I've got for you in this series. So let me know if you want any more topics like this or any specific items you want me to cover. I'd love to help you guys with that. And before you go, don't miss my Fit Tips emails. I send them out every Monday and they are my best hybrid training tips, so don't miss that. And I have several awesome freebies down in the description. And of course, details about my awesome program, Hybrid Strength, which is just about to get a facelift, and I am so excited. It's gonna be super fun. But that's all I've got for you today. See you in the next one. Bye. Yep, there we go.